Welcome to the Show Me the Way podcast. I am your host, Andrea Miller, and I'm so excited to bring this show to you. Show Me the Way is a podcast dedicated to exploring the journeys of those who have faced adversity and found themselves on unexpected paths. We will have meaningful, thoughtful conversations about challenges we have faced and how we discovered and forged new direction. Prepare to be inspired and to uncover your own strength as you listen to relatable and motivating stories. Life has a way of twisting and turning, and we often need a fresh perspective to understand how to navigate. Let's show each other the way. And I'm back with the Show Me the Way podcast. This is Andrea Miller, your host, and this is another mini episode that I just wanted to record to remind you that there's some amazing episodes out there for you to check out. I have been so blessed to have dropped 39 episodes, very consistent with an episode every Sunday. It's been amazing, such a fun journey, and we have had the best guests, and I'm just very blessed that every time I ask, generally the person that I'm reaching out to is open. And even if they're a little nervous, they always come through with a great story, either of a very specific time in their life where they realized they were facing adversity or a challenge and they needed to pivot, make some changes based on that. So it could be a very specific, pivotal moment in their life, or there's all kinds of things that they've experienced throughout their lives that have caused them to have to make a change or to look at things differently or to gain some new perspective. And it's been so much fun to learn these stories. As I always say, it's sometimes people I've known for years and I find out something new, or it's someone that I just met and they really have so much to share and just open my eyes, and I'm sure all of our listeners' eyes as well. So I like to jump in and do these mini episodes just so that I can reflect and you can get a little more perspective on what I learned and how the story impacted me. And today I'm going to look back at episode 5. So, geez, 39 episodes. That was 34 episodes ago. Hard to think back. And I was just re listening to some of it and I thought, wow, we've certainly come a long way since then. But it was a great episode featuring Terri Sweeney, who I adore. And I really wanted to highlight her in her episode for many reasons, but mainly because she has been a huge support to the Show Me the Way podcast. She has listened and really given me great feedback and input on almost every single one she's listened to. After she's done, she'll say, here's what I thought about this one. And I appreciate that so much. So if there's anyone else that's out there that has been following and you have thoughts for me, please go out and leave a review with your thoughts or just message me directly, which is what Terri does, because I want to get better and I want to bring all of our listeners the best possible stories. And I'm all about learning and growing every single day. So Terri is awesome. She is a cheerleader. If you meet her, you will totally understand what I'm saying. She has so much energy. She's so much fun. Back when we recorded the episode, I was encouraging my friend Tammy to do the episodes with me. Since that time, she has not been able to do the interviews with me. She's still very supportive, and I tag her when I do social media posts. So I know she's still there in the background, wanting to be involved in showing you the way. But she has gotten involved in other things in her life, taken on a new job, and just things have changed for her. Back then, Tammy and I really enjoyed talking with Terri, and it was great that Tammy was on because we both feel the same about Terri, just this joy, this light that she exudes. When I'm thinking about reflecting on her episode, it was episode 5. It was called Find the Beauty. It was October 6th of 2024. So yeah, go back and check that one out. It was a very early episode. It's not very long. It's one of our shorter episodes, which is fine. Sometimes you just need a little quick listen. You can put it on in the car. You can put it on while you're taking your dog for a walk, whatever works for you. But I would love for you to go back and listen and give me your thoughts. And I wanted to reflect on something that she had to let go of. What was the hardest thing that Terri ever had to let go of? That was kind of the theme I was going at today. And she and I both have children, either with disabilities or special needs. So we do have kind of a different perspective and we have a lot to relate on when it comes to things like that. If you recall, she has twins. She has a boy who is healthy. Everything's going good with him. Typical life. Then his sister, the twin girl, they found out that she has mental disabilities and had to have a different growing up situation. They are twins. They are great together. They have so much love for one another. You can see it in the videos that Terri shares on social media, in the photos that she shares, and even in her voice on this podcast, how much her son and daughter love one another and how supportive the son has been. So it's really great to hear her perspective and her thoughts on all of that. But something that really got to me was her idea of what life would be like. And so it really made a lot of sense to me. She pictured this path for her and her husband. She always wanted children around. She always wanted a big family. And she realized that the picture she had created in her mind wasn't going to actually come true. It wasn't going to be the picture of her future. And I'm sure she had some bad days, but she didn't let the bad days take over. And rather than saying, "Oh, I'm going to let this just totally ruin my life. I'm not going to have a quote normal life. This picture that I had in my mind, I'm just going to hold on to it and be upset about it forever." She said, "You know what? I'm going to let go of that picture and I'm going to move forward and create a new normal. I'm going to take this life and make it the best I can and give my children the best life that I can." And I appreciate that so much because it's very hard to let go of things in general. And I always say either God chooses the day that I'm supposed to interview a particular person, or he puts something in my mind on a particular day that it is supposed to be on that mind. And that's what happened today. I really wanted to continue to promote the Show Me the Way podcast. I'm liking these mini episodes in between the normal drops so that people can continue to see Show Me the Way. They can continue to have options of things to listen to. Maybe they only want a little tidbit, a 15-minute episode that they can quickly pour into. And I do think that giving my additional perspective is also helpful to the listeners. So I thought, what can I do this week? And I thought about Terri and I thought about her episode. And I was having a little bit of a down morning. Actually, my husband would say I've had a down couple of days. And I'm not sure why. There's a million reasons. It's hard. Sometimes we think, oh, if only life was like this. If only we had this. If only this could happen tomorrow. If only this was different for in my case, my son. I had some stresses with him this week, and I got to thinking this morning, I wish life was like this. I wish he had this going on. And I don't like to be in that mode. If you know me, you know that I like to be positive. I like to be people's cheerleaders. I like to bring really good positive perspective to each day. I thank God every day for being alive and for the sun being out and time with my family and time with my dog and the fact that I can move my body. There's so many things that I am grateful for. And I don't like to dwell in things that are outside of my control or things that bring me down. I don't like to dwell. I really promote the Mel Robbins let me theory. I'm trying to promote that with so many of my friends and with me. Like, let them do what they're going to do. I'm going to remain in this positive state. But sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes you do find things that maybe make you a little down because we're all human, right? We're not perfect. And so it's kind of where I am. I'll admit it these days. But I think God was like, okay, this is the episode you're going to go back and listen to. And this is the mini episode you are going to have this week. And I think it was very timely because Terri didn't let a change in her perspective, a change in her path, the pivot take away from what she wanted to bring to this earth. She has a beautiful smile, a beautiful outlook. She is open to people. She is here to help people. She did not have the huge family she expected, but she took in foster kids. She took in foreign exchange students. She still has relationships with them. She is full of joy, and I couldn't appreciate that more. Someone like her was definitely destined to be someone in my life because I really admire people that understand that difficulty comes up and adversity comes up, but there are positives. There are things that you can take from that perspective to really move forward and bring joy to others. And that's what she does. And she does it with her children and she does it with everyone that she comes in contact with. I tell you that you should go check her out on Facebook or on Instagram. She posts all kinds of reels and videos, and they're really fun. And you get to see a little bit into her life. She will post videos and pictures of her daughter and the things that they do together. So I definitely recommend doing that. But yeah, finding the beauty. So she didn't just hold on to this picture of what life was going to be like. She learned to let that go and create this new direction. And it's very inspiring and motivational for all of us. I'm sure, like I said, she has down days, but she understands that she can't dwell in those days. And so I took a little tidbit from the episode that we had with her. And the one that I'm going to share here for all of you to listen to is the moment she just said, if I had to go back to my younger self, or if I had to give advice to somebody before they started having a family, before they started moving forward with their adult life, I would tell them that everything has a reason. And if life doesn't look the way you think it's going to look, go in this new direction and find positivity. And one of the things she talked about was early on when her daughter received that diagnosis, she thought, oh, okay, whatever, but she's still going to talk before she's this age. She's going to grow out of this. She's going to get through that. And to an extent that might look like she was not recognizing what was really going on. But what she really was doing was saying, no, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep moving forward. We're going to keep living the best life we can. We're not going to let this stop us. That's what she was doing. And I think that mentality really helped her get through. And she says that they went on family trips and they did all of the things that she wanted to do with her family. Maybe it had to be altered, maybe it had to be different, but she still went through and did those things and tried to give her children the best life she could. And I think she still does that every single day. Both of them are adults now. Her son is independent on his own, doing his thing with the job and moving and all of that. And so she still is this full-time caregiver for now an adult, but she's still trying to give her daughter the best life she possibly can, giving her experiences, even if they have to be different. So, yeah, I'm sure it was hard to let go of that picture she had in her head, but what an inspirational perspective. So, here are a few words just to remind you of the episode with Terri.
I don't know if I was naive as a first time mom having twins. I was exhausted and sleep deprived. And, I never compared the two because they say don't compare. And, I didn't have a lot of experience with babies beforehand. And I think having that, like, oh, she's going to grow out of it mentality, like by 7, she'll definitely be talking by then. Like, of course, why wouldn't she? I think that really, it enabled me to live and be in the moment and do things that we would have done, that I would have done as a mom for 2 typical children. We just did everything that we could, and we had a joyful upbringing. I mean, I can't say anything else. I mean, I feel like we did everything that we could, and it's because I didn't dwell on the negative. You always have to be optimistic, have faith, and know that things happen for a reason, and you'll just get through it.
And yeah, again, Terri is just full of light, full of joy. I love her perspective. I love the ease of which she just says, nope, this is where we're going. We're going to go do this. She's not afraid to try things. She's not afraid to show that to her kids. She's not afraid to show that to people that come into contact with her. And I think if you know her, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I hope that this perspective and this reminder of Terri's episode really resonates with you today. And I hope you agree with what I'm saying that yes, it's hard to let go of things, but if we do, sometimes we can really see the light on the other side. If there's something that's holding you back today, this is my advice and my thoughts for you and for me. If there's something that's bringing us down or holding us back, or maybe we're in the past, or maybe we're in this whole I wish life was different mode, and that happens, you're human. You can't feel bad for feeling that way. But just remember that things do happen for a reason. I always say I used to hate that phrase so much because I don't understand why there's medical conditions with children, with everybody. I don't understand why my son has muscular dystrophy, but I do know that there's a reason that he has taught me what he has taught me, and he has shown me what he has shown me, and he has turned my family into what he has turned our family into. I can't imagine not having his perspective on life and not going through all that we have gone through, because we certainly wouldn't be the people we are today without that. So I do think there's reasons behind just about everything that's out there. You'll hear me talk about God winks very often. I do think God places people in our lives. I think he places moments in our lives that show us things, that teach us things, and that guide us. I always pray, God, show me the way, but often we have to show each other the way, and we have to share our experiences with each other so we can keep learning and keep making this short life as good as we possibly can. Last episode, Sunday, that I dropped with my friend Victoria McKellar, she said, leave nuggets wherever you go. And she talked about bosses that she's had in the past or people she's encountered that just left her little nuggets, things that she could learn from. And I love that perspective so much. So hopefully this episode gives you a little nugget to take going forward that, yes, even if you're going through a difficult time, it's okay to let go of it. And it's okay how long it takes for you to let go of that, or if it pops up, if it creeps up every once in a while, that is okay too. But look for that light, look for that joy. Understand how you can take what you've been through and you can share that perspective. And maybe somebody else really needs to hear it today. That's another challenge that I always give. I will say, if you're thinking something, follow up with a person. So if there's someone you're thinking about, or you're thinking about something that they told you or that they've been through or something that helped you, remind that person, hey, thank you for sharing that perspective. I really needed it today. Or, hey, I'm just thinking about you. It's amazing how much of a difference that can make with people. So, yeah, you might be holding on to something that's really hard to let go, but I promise you there is some kind of light on the other side. If it is a very deep place that you're in, please go talk to somebody that can help you or that has been through it before. And don't be afraid to express yourself, because you're allowed to have emotions and feelings. And it is hard to let go of things, especially plans that we had set in our head. But sometimes they really teach us something. And sometimes we really do find the joy on the other side. I think that's what Terri's very good at, finding the beauty. I would love for you to go back and listen to her episode. And if you are loving the Show Me the Way podcast, I want to keep growing and want to keep sharing these stories with people. Please leave a rating, a review, or share it with someone. There's a lot of friends you have that I don't know that need to hear from our amazing speakers. So please go ahead and leave that rating, review, share with others, put it on your social media. I would appreciate it so much. Or you can be like Terri and message me and say, here's what I loved, here's what I didn't love, here's what I think you can improve upon. And that would be wonderful too. I also have a few friends that are great at telling me who would be a guest, who would be a potential guest. And that's been very helpful too. So I'm very open. Also, if you have a story, if you're thinking, as I'm talking, you're thinking, I've went through this challenge, I have perspective to share, I would love to chat with you. It's a very casual conversation. It's not a formal interview. If you listen to the episodes, you'll know that I try to make my guests very comfortable, even people that have never been on a podcast before. We just talk like we're having coffee together, because I think you have a story to share. We all do. Like I said at the beginning, it could be a very specific moment in time where you had to pivot, or it could be a lot of different things that you've learned throughout your life. I just think we all have something to share, and I would love to learn about how you've shown and how you want to show us the way. Thanks so much for being here, and I look forward to your continued listening and all of your feedback, and keep going out there, finding the joy and showing each other the way. Thank you for joining me for the Show Me the Way podcast. I truly appreciate you tuning in to today's episode about overcoming adversity and finding your path. I hope it brought you new insights, empowered you with perspective, and inspired you to find joy in your journey. If this episode touched your heart, don't forget to leave a quick review, as it will help us reach and motivate more people. Until next time, keep seeking the light and showing the way.